Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Standing on business.
Standing on business.
Stand on business.
What's up, brownies? Let's take a look at this incident where we finally stood on business as a collective against an intruder on the culture and what we could have done differently. Now, this all centered around the rap battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake that came to a head the first weekend of May 2024. And it was chaotic all the way around. Everyone was chiming in, talking about the only things that really matter in a battle, which is bars and lyricism. Well, DJ Vlad decided to chime in and speak on the mix or production value of one of Kendrick's songs, to which many people chimed in and told him some version of, hey, maybe you should sit this one out. Well, Vlad only decided to be incredibly offended and go after one person in particular, which was a Princeton graduate turned professor named Morgan Jerkins. The exchange went all out of bounds. He was conflating the issue, making it bigger than it had to be, even questioning whether or not she was racially biased in her teachings against her non-Black students. He made sure to tag Princeton in all of these posts and was teasing her with the fact that she's probably going to lose her job for this. He then later, Monday, decided to try to start walking it back by saying he had never planned on actually contacting the university and filing a complaint, to which the whole world was telling him, listen, the damage is already done because you've already tagged them in these posts. He also stated on Clubhouse that he was receiving threats of being unalived. And so Wednesday, he issued a statement of apology to Morgan. What's weird is we didn't have this energy when Vlad did this to a Black woman last year. So the content creator LovelyTi used a small clip of one of Vlad's older videos, and he got her entire IG account shut down. And I want to take a moment to give T her flowers because she's been doing this over 10, 15 years. She really puts a lot of time, energy, effort, and research into her videos and her editing and everything, and it's superb. And just like me, T also has a chronic illness. You know, when you have something that is incurable and unpredictable, it's harder to maintain a job where you have to keep a schedule and punch a clock. So it is essential that we do something like content creation so that we can still maintain an income, even when you may be out of it for a few hours or days or weeks. So why didn't T get the same protection as Morgan? Well, first and foremost, I've said in multiple videos that when we say protect Black women, what we actually mean is protect some Black women. And we already know that Vlad and people outside of the community use or abuse their privilege in a punch down system to keep us in line. But we have to look at that same punch down system that happens within the community using things like colorism and class. As far as colorism, you will notice that Morgan has a complexion for protection. She's very much white adjacent and of a lighter hue, whereas LovelyTi is not. She's of a darker hue. Then you have the way that class is perceived. So she's Ivy League. So that counts for more than just a regular education. Then she's been published in all of these large, white-owned publications. And on top of that, she also is a published author of at least 3 books, one of which was a New York Times bestseller entitled This Will Be My Undoing, which I thought was just a strange coincidence. And on top of that, she has a celebrity connection because her uncle is the famous producer, Rodney Jerkins. And people are saying that that's really what made Vlad start walking it back, seeing as how he's interviewed Rodney as well. And that's actually a weird coincidence and a great way to segue into the actual core of this problem, which is the fact that People like Vlad built his platform largely off the backs of black men in the music industry. So it is black men that invited him into the culture, allowed him to leech off of you essentially, and now he has made more money and gained more of a following in your stuff than you have. And then when you finally wake up and try to move on after helping him build his platform, you can't get the same type of support and subscribers on your own platform as the one that you have helped him build. And now you're angry and you're dismayed when you are Dr. Frankenstein and this is the monster that you created. I want you to look at the fact that this started with the discussion of the big three. And the big three only included one black rapper and the other two were biracial. Now, pause for a moment because I do want to encourage you to go and check out the video that I made congratulating J. Cole for stepping out of the beef because we know that a lot of lives have been lost in rap. But let's get back to the topic. More often than not, these situations occur because black men have invited non-black people into their bedrooms and boardrooms and allowed them to run off with the bag. You all love to call folks like Vlad or Yes Jules culture vultures. I wonder if you've ever asked yourself, being that vultures are birds of prey, why is it that they look at the black community as such easy targets? Your culture has no protection around it. Whereas it doesn't work that same way the other way around. Members of the larger society have always done a lot of social engineering and put a lot of legislation in place that creates large barriers of entry for you into the same type of success and wealth that they have. So keeping that in mind, I want to shift the analogy from vultures to vampires, the pale people that come in and literally suck the lifeblood out of your community. The thing about that is they must first be invited in. And one thing that I see all the time is pale people doing something that is imitating black culture, either the way we dance or sing, and you act as though that this is the best thing you've ever seen or heard, and undoubtedly you will say you're definitely invited to the cookout. These members of society actually have an abundance of resources, not only because they have taken yours, but also they have created barriers of entry to keep you from getting them, and then once they got them, they hoarded them to prevent you from getting to theirs. And yet you're inviting them into your backyard. Now, this is the backyard of the same house that the lending institutions made it harder for you to qualify for. And then those same institutions redlined, making those same houses all but worthless, or at the very least, worth less once you took possession of them. And then by default, what else was created was food deserts that made it harder for you to get the food for the cookout. And yet and still, you have invited them into your backyard to eat your food, and you're genuinely surprised every time they take everything that you have and leave you starving. Perhaps what you should focus on is building better fences. Kev on Stage is one of those people that built a fence around his culture and then built a bridge to help other people within the culture get over to the other side and come up. So he could speak out freely about Vlad because he's unbought. He was also unpaid, by the way, for those sound bites from his content that were used in multiple documentaries, especially on imprints like HBO. But they're so large compared to his small Kev on Stage studios. But we can do something about that by helping him build. If you have not seen this video in my Standing on Business series, make sure you check this out on the playlist. See, the video is calling out other black male content creators that made these false hit pieces about Kev when they thought that he was going broke. That's the difference with me. If I can call out people outside of the culture, I can call out people within the culture. I'm not a bigot and I'm not prejudiced. And as a matter of fact, I've been a content creator for less than a year and a half, and the only people that have put strikes on my account, you know, the kind that can get your account pulled, is actual other black content creators for doing the same thing that LovelyTi did with Vlad's video, and actually the same thing that that all of YouTube does, taking a clip and doing a reaction video about it. And if you just wanted me to remove the clip from my video or to take my video down, you could have reached out to me personally and gotten me to do that without putting a strike on my account. And this is how you know that it was done with the attempt to stop a black woman's bag, which is the exact same thing that you all are calling Vlad out for. I also noticed that Vlad didn't lose any of his over 5 million subscribers, most of which who are black. You see how you all have no follow through? And that's why these vultures use us as prey. We are the main ones who will do anything, make complete fools of ourselves and even down our own people in order to assimilate into their society. And then as soon as you say or do something that they don't like, they will show you better than they can tell you how easy it is for them to humble you and how you will never be on their level. So keep that in mind in the future when you decide who is worthy of your support. And just know that a lot of the stuff that happens with us is within our control. If we decided to support each other for free, even by subscribing, like, share, comment, all of the things that increase engagement and grows our brand, we could then get more ad revenue and brand deals from the members of the larger society and these larger corporations, thereby bringing money from outside of the community within the community, instead of always allowing them to come in and do it in the reverse. So consider supporting a black content creator for free and sharing this video, thereby amplifying their voice. But hey, at least we got some sort of justice for Morgan, and that was a good start. I want you all to stay tuned if you like this type of content, because I have more to come.
So you